Choose joy, choose joy, choose joy, and then again, choose joy. It is a bright and beautiful September day in the summer of 2020, and you, our bright beings of light and love, are every day increasing your frequency. You are moving in an up spiral of love towards your release from the third-dimensional fear paradigm. Let us today talk about how this third-dimensional fear paradigm works. The human mind is very malleable. That thought system which you are trained into as a child is that which you live by for the rest of your life, the rules and regulations of which arrange and control your motivation and your decisions. As a child, you are sent to school for 10 and more years because it takes that time to train your mind into the behavior that the system you live in desires. When you leave school, the teacher no longer needs to be present. You are then in an automatic behavior mode, acting and reacting subconsciously, reactively, without thinking, to your environment and to those around you. You are then self-reinforcing the rules, laws and principles that you have been taught. You are in a dream state. A spell has been put upon you. You are mesmerized, programmed to carry through the instructions you have been given, to carry through the principles of the societal understanding with which you have been indoctrinated. And through your peers, religion, news sources, governments and work environment, the indoctrination continues and is reinforced. Academia and the news outlets inform us intellectually with what they call science or facts. This conditions the left logical thinking, analytical brain. The loving, emotional, intuitive right brain is left largely unused. Feelings and emotions are rejected, and yet the feeling of our emotions are the guide that we need to use to advance out of the low fear frequency of the third-dimensional paradigm. We are taught to reject that which would help us most. We are taught to ignore our gut feel, our intuition, and live by the imposed logic of false ideas and beliefs. So when we are in fear and psychological discomfort, this is, in fact, an indication that we are not living our truth. We are not allowing our emotions to guide us. And furthermore, we are in discomfort about the supposed truth that we have been given and that we are living by. Our emotions are our intuitive guide to what is the correct behavior that is in alignment with our soul's desire. Hence the saying, choose joy, choose joy, choose joy, and then again, choose joy. For when we are in joy, we are in sync with our higher self, with our divine soul. And now, a global governance system is wreaking havoc on all that we have known to be our truth. The old system by which we have lived is being dismantled. The lies and untruths of our entrainment are being revealed. You are seeing people behave in ways that you do not understand. You are hearing confusing and contradictory statements and ideas that conflict with your understanding. The situation is, to say the least, confabulating and distressing. What can you do? Resistance will give you suffering, for your emotions will be distressing. You will not be in the joy that your true self desires for your contentment and happiness. You will be fighting what is, and yet unable to change it. The answer is acceptance. There are no accidents in God's perfect world. Everything happens for a reason, for the eventual good of all. So, when you see the world around you changing, and you accept that change and change your behavior accordingly, You will see and feel beneficial change in yourself. You will move yourself to a higher, more peaceful vibration, for you are not fighting against what is. Feel your feelings and emotions, for these are the tools that your spiritual guides and teachers, your higher self, use to communicate with you. Your feelings are the voice of your intuition. They nudge you through emotions, ideas, dreams, and synchronicities. Listening to the voice of your soul through your emotions gives you the opportunity, when you listen to those nudges, those intuitive hits, to change your ideas about life, to change your focus from fear to love. Use your emotions. Use that creative, loving right brain that has been left to atrophy. Leave what appears to be logical information aside and use your own intuition. Commune with your soul and follow your feelings. Reclaim the intuitive, creative feeling aspect that has been systematically denied and decreased through your education. You have been trained for a system that is crumbling, that no longer exists, and it is now necessary to retrain your mind. As a child, you loved to colour, to draw, to run, jump, to laugh spontaneously, to follow your heart's desire. This spontaneity, this delightful way of living, was trained out of you. 40 hours of work a week became your mantra. There was no more joy, no self-actualization. You followed the precepts of hard work and depressing musts and shoulds that you were indoctrinated into. Now it is time to recapture the imagination and creativity of your child. It is time again to be in joy. Hence the Bible quote, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." So you have been trained for a system that no longer exists, and you must retrain your mind. This is the importance of the acceptance of what is, or else, in resistance, you will spend your time lamenting the loss of the past. You will cease to move forward, and you will be mired in holding on to what was. You need to look at the truth of your entrainment. It is the knowing and accepting of the truth of your indoctrinated false thought system that sets you free, that frees you from your dream spell, that frees you from your now obsolete, indoctrinated thought system. So put your focus on the good. You do not need to be informed by the news media. Listening to the news is an ego addiction to fear and negativity that will give you only pain and reinforce the false paradigm of understanding that you are seeking to overcome. Look inside to your soul's intuitive voice. Be calm and in peace and joy. Do not allow your mood, your emotion, to be carried in a down spiral by falsely indoctrinating, hypnotizing words. Look for joy. Look for that which you love to do. Follow your bliss. Follow your passion. For that is what your soul desires for you to do. The human journey through this planet Earth experience is wonderful indeed. Born with no memory of who and what we are, entrained into a false thought system that takes away our joy and creativity, our job is to recapture that joy, to see the truth of our false entrainment, to see how we have been dysfunctional and living only according to false analytical thinking that gets us nowhere fast. And then, having realized how we were indoctrinated, to move beyond that, to forgive all, to understand that this human life has taught us about what is not love. It has taught us in the deepest and most knowing way that we prefer love and wish to leave fear and anger behind. Love, love, love. That is all we innately are, and that is what we prefer. That was Aita, channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.